there. By the way, speaking of media trying to cover this story, this is so disgusting to me, and it shows you the incompetence of some of these police officers. Not all, but some of them. CNN reporter Omar Jimenez, who, by the way, does a fantastic job. I think he's a fantastic reporter, happens to be an African-American, was arrested overnight on live TV. He's doing a live hit. I'm laughing because it's so ridiculous. He's doing a live hit, a live broadcast, and cops arrest him. Okay? Have a listen to this when he's speaking with a state patrol officer. Have a listen to this.
We're speaking with State Patrol right now. Give us a second, guys. We can move back to where you'd like. We can move back to where you'd like here. We are live on the air at the moment. This is the four of us. We are one team. Put us back where you want us. We are getting out of your way, so just let us know.
Okay, these are some of the most ignorant police officers in the country. It goes on now, and this is the moment that they actually arrested. And that was live on national television.
He had his CNN badge on.
Yeah, he's got a microphone.
If you watch, he could not be more calm. Hey, we'll go where you want us to go. Just tell us. We're with CNN. I got these three guys. We had his producer with him. He had a cameraman with him. So anyway, as calm can be.
Yeah, some of the dumbest police officers in the country. So this is the moment where they actually handcuff him. Keep in mind, this all aired live on CNN overnight. This was live. This was a hit that Omar Jimenez was doing, a live reporter, a good reporter. He's got his microphone. He's dressed professionally. He's got his credentials. And these dumb cops decide to arrest him. Have a listen to this.
Sorry?
You're under arrest.
Okay. Do you mind telling me why I'm under arrest, sir? Why am I under arrest, sir?
Officer is with CNN and he's on the air right now.
Okay.
You are arresting him live on CNN. We told you before that we are with CNN.
If you're just tuning in, you are watching our correspondent, Omar Jimenez, being arrested by state police in Minnesota. We're not sure why.
All right, those cops should be fired. And by the way, the CEO of CNN called the governor. The governor has apologized. It's not the governor's fault, okay? It's not the governor's fault that this crew was arrested, but it's wrong, and I don't think there's anything funny about it. I think it's disgusting. Now, is it as disgusting as somebody putting their knee over George Floyd's neck and murdering him? No, of course not. But this is an embarrassment to the police department. And if I was a member of the media, I would sue the hell out of those bastards for doing that because they're incompetent. I'll take some phone calls. 702-257-5396. 702-257-5396. When we have some police officers that are that stupid that they cannot recognize a reporter live on the air on CNN and they arrest him for no reason, are these the people that we want to serve and protect us? The majority of police officers are good people. Some of these people in Minneapolis are some of the dumbest cops on the planet. They really are. 702-257-5396 is the number to call.
I would also ask Brian, why would they arrest a peaceful reporter when you had people overnight that were, burning a police building down and actually committing crimes, and they did nothing.
Yeah,
and yet here's a reporter that just was in their way. It just seems like the priorities are a little bit backwards there.
By the way, Brian, if 200 small businesses were burnt down, then there was way more than 1,000 looters, and rioters.
What does it have to do with what we're talking about?
Just saying you were wrong before, but yeah, I agree. It's very, very odd that Omar Jimenez was arrested under these circumstances. I think that I'm guessing that they probably wanted that coverage they didn't want whatever was going on to be seen by the national. By their viewers.
No, I mean, that wouldn't make any sense. I don't think that's the case because there's reporters everywhere that are doing stand-ups. I think it was just a situation where these officers, it's not an excuse. They're probably very stressed out.
Of course
lack
they're
of
very
sleep,
stressed out, Brian.
And they're idiots because they didn't. It would have taken anybody with a common sense to realize that this guy's a legitimate reporter.
And do you think that because he was African-American, that's part of why he was arrested?
I don't know the answer to that question for sure, but I do find it ironic that he was African-American. I do find it ironic. Some of these cops in Minneapolis, and I hope it's not the majority of them, I don't know, But some of these cops, the ones that put their knee over George Floyd, the one that thinks it's okay to arrest a live reporter on CNN, are some of the dumbest police officers I've ever seen in my life.
And that cannot be argued. But all these different things were already in motion before these riots took place. Not the protest. I'm talking about the riots. There was an FBI investigation. There was a Department of Justice investigation. Eventually, Derek Chauvin is going to, his life is likely over. These 4 police officers, they've already been fired. There's going to be a major investigation into the tendencies and the habits and the teaching of the Minneapolis Police Department.
All right,
Rioting doesn't accomplish anything. All this was taking place well before any of that happened. But I do think that part of the reason why this riot was so aggressive is because COVID-19. People have been locked in their houses essentially for a long time. A lot of them are unemployed. A lot haven't been able to work out. A lot haven't been able to release their stress. I think a lot of this particular riot has to do with the fact that just the lockdown from COVID-19.
I disagree.
And you think it's totally about George Floyd? Because it's not.
Here's the way I'll answer that. Here's the way I'll answer that question.
The protesting is all about George Floyd, in my opinion.
So here's the way I'll answer that
rioting
question.
Is something totally different.
Here's the way I'll answer that question. It's a very simple answer. If George Floyd wasn't murdered in broad daylight, none of these riots or protests would be happening right now.
I'm saying it's definitely a factor.
It's not a factor.
But I'm not saying it is the. I think there is a lot of things that are taking place simultaneously to fuel the fire.
He said it's the reason it's particularly aggressive.
Perhaps.
Is what he says.
That is what I said. Exactly.
Perhaps, but what I'm trying to say is that these wouldn't even be happening right now if George Floyd wasn't.
Well,
let's take some phone
and by
calls
that
at
logic,
702.
had Amy Klobuchar decided to go after Derek Chauvin when he was involved in another officer involved on unnecessary death, then none of this would have taken place in the first place. So let's go by that logic if you want to, Brian.
No, I'm just going by the logic
when she was a prosecutor.
Yeah.
Yes, she was.
I'm just going by the logic of an innocent African-American man being murdered in broad daylight a few days ago, and that's why we're dealing with what we're dealing with now. You could say, well, it could be a little worse because of the coronavirus. Okay, but if this doesn't happen, these riots aren't happening. Let's get to the phone calls, 702-257-5396. Let's go to Alex. Alex, you're first up on the Vegas take.
Hey, what's up, Alex?
Good morning, Brian. JD, I'd like to know something. There was a comment made that somebody would get shot for stealing TVs. Earlier, I think it was JD saying that it would be justified. I'm curious, Brian, you said no way, but here's the thing. They're not stealing just TVs. They're burning the building. So my question is to you, Brian, what happened back in the years of Rodney King when the Korean people were up on the roofs with AK-47s and defending their businesses? Did you think that was wrong? Because
here's what I
shot at, by the way.
Sure. Here's what I think is wrong. I believe if your life is in jeopardy, for example, if you're running a 7-Eleven store and somebody goes in there with a knife or a gun, you can shoot him and kill him. I have absolutely no problem with that. But here's where I disagree.
7-Eleven is not a small business, Brian. That is a billion-dollar corporation. There is a major. You have to factor that in.
Let me know if I can finish my statement without you interrupting me. Thank you.
Yeah, please allow some time for me too, please.
No problem. But JD interrupted me, so I would just like to finish my statement.
Thank you.
Okay, if I could just finish my thought now. What I have a problem with is we're talking about nobody that is armed, my understanding, knives, guns, that is robbing somebody at gunpoint. I don't defend what they're doing, and they deserve to be arrested, and they deserve to be charged. But what Donald Trump tweeted out is insinuating that we could get the National Guard out there just to start shooting people for going into these businesses and stealing stuff. I have a serious problem with that, and I would hope that you would too.
Okay, so Brian, I need to ask you something. I understand there's going to be a Black Lives Matter march. The last thing I heard was 8 p.m. tonight.
There's one at 2 p.m.
No, it's at 2 p.m. at the Miracle Mile Mall.
Hello?
It's 2 p.m., but go ahead.
Oh, okay, so 2 p.m., okay. If I have a business, my father got a business downtown. 10 of us family members are going to go down there and protect the business. Should there be a problem if there's a march nearby where the business is? I want to know, would you be against us defending our business if we're getting shot at or we're trying to burn the business down?
Okay, well, that's first of all. All right, hold on. Let me answer that. No, you asked me a question. Now let me answer it, sir. Where did I say that if you're being shot at, you can't defend yourself and shoot that person?
No, burning the building down, because you said something about the TVs being stolen.
Okay.
A lot of these businesses are
Let me
burned
be very
down
clear.
while
Okay.
the TVs are being stolen.
So let me be very clear on that as well. Now, you're the one who said if I'm being shot at. You said that, not me.
No, me. We're going to be going down
If
there
you're,
to our business
if
to
okay,
protect it.
so let me answer you.
We're heavy,
All right, I get your question.
Arms,
I get your
and
question.
We're not going to allow the business to get burned down. So I want to know, because we're
I understand. So let me answer you. I understand your question. If you're in that building,
we
with
will
your
be.
okay,
If
okay.
It happens,
let me.
if it happens,
Okay,
the march is going to be
I understand.
down on
You
that
gotta,
area.
I understand. You got to let me answer your question now. If you're in that building, and you see people lighting your building on fire, I have no problem with you defending yourself, because you know what? You could die. They are jeopardizing you. Okay, but there's a fine line and a difference to me, and I think the law would agree with me on this one, between you being in a business and your life being in jeopardy, and nobody being in that business, nobody in those businesses, people lighting it on fire. It's still a very serious crime, but nobody's life is necessarily in jeopardy. The business is in jeopardy.
Okay,
so
you're suggesting for me and my family not to go down there with good heavy arms. Is that what you're suggesting?
What I am suggesting,
my father's livelihood go right
what
down
I am,
before
first of all,
He's not factoring in your father's livelihood.
Okay, so what I am
that's the issue.
Okay, so what I am suggesting is this. You're damn right. If you think, and by the way, I have no evidence and you have no evidence to support the fact that your building is going to be burned down.
Oh, he's just making a hypothetical situation,
Brian. Well, I'm answering
because
the
what
question.
happened in Minneapolis, we don't want the same thing to happen in Las Vegas,
I don't believe,
or in LA, or in Dallas, or in Houston, or in any major city with a good-sized urban area.
It's illegal to kill someone over property.
Yes,
okay,
it
it's
is
called the castle.
completely
it's
illegal.
called the castle doctrine.
Yes, there are laws in place
that allows you to protect yourself in your life. But it does not extend to property, generally speaking, and that's the law in Minneapolis. If you think someone's going to steal your flowers from, like this woman we're going to talk to and her florist business,
you can't shoot them,
or their TVs, or their beer, or whatever. If they're breaking into a bar, you can't kill someone solely over loss of property.
Let's try to steal.
But someone can break in. If someone breaks into your home, you can kill them.
Because it's called the castle doctrine, and in that case, you're in fear of your life.
Yes, absolutely. If you're in fear of your life.
If you're at your business and you're operating your business, and 5 or 6 people break into your business and they're destroying things, someone attempts to burn it down, someone takes a lot of things out of the business.
It would be an issue for the. It would be an issue.
How are you supposed to defend yourself?
It would be an issue for the courtroom, and you'd have to. And
if there's 1,000 cases,
and a jury
like
would have
that,
to decide if you
right.
were defending yourself,
if
someone was running away with a TV and you shot him in the back. That's a different story.
If 1,000 situations like that happened, how would that possibly be able to be delineated through the court system?
I'm just speaking.
That's the worry here. Just kind of like the worry was overrunning the hospitals with COVID-19. Now we're looking at
this has nothing to do
overrunning
with COVID-19.
small businesses all over the country that are being broken into over this circumstance, and them not being able to defend themselves.
Well, it depends. Are you in the building at the time?
Okay,
that makes a big difference too.
There are laws in place, and the law is on my side. If you are in fear of your life, you're defending yourself. I am totally okay with you brandishing a weapon and defending yourself. If it is solely about defending your business, like that last caller said, you do not have the right to shoot people.
But your business is your livelihood.
That's not what the law says.
If it is a small
That's not what the law
business,
says.
if you're not a Target, if you're not an AutoZone, if you're not a 7-Eleven, if you're not a McDonald's, your business is your livelihood,
so
Brian.
Let me respond to that.
Because you put time,
or no.
sweat, and money into developing that business.
Okay. 2 things to respond to what you just said. First of all, the law disagrees with you. It's not just me. So let's just be clear on that. That's number one. And number two, there's something called insurance. And if you're a semi-intelligent business owner, you have something called insurance.
And insurance companies can go broke under these circumstances. They can deny claims.
Right. So they don't have insurance. Okay,
I'm not saying they don't have insurance.
Right.
I'm saying the payout could take six months to a year.
Okay.
And the business could be out of could be out of
well,
business
you know
by
what?
then.
I would rather have someone wait.
And then they would have to live off the government during that time period.
So I would rather have someone.
That's the goal, is to prevent something like that. So you're not a small business owner. You never have.
Are you a small business owner?
I've owned several small businesses over the course of my life.
What?
Absolutely, I have.
All right. We'll take a break. I don't want to get into that with you, but I just want people's lives to be safe. That's all. And I'm not going to put somebody's business over people's lives, even if they are criminals. And the law is on my side, not your side. And whether I own a small business or not has zero to do with this discussion. Zero. I know the law. You don't know the law.